Host Stephen K. Bannon.
There's more economic news. Cortez got a great piece of a Daily Signal. I'm going to talk about that maybe when we get Steve in towards the end of the show. Also discuss the CPI number. And I want to thank Dr. Navarre from taking time away from a stepped out of a meeting to do that from the White House. I think it needed some explanation, particularly given CNN and other people. Gerald Malloy, the first, I believe, race called last night was in Vermont, the at-large seat. I think it's for the whole state. Gerald Malloy won the Republican nomination. It was called almost out of the box. Gerald, this is a example of kind of grit and determination. Tell the Warren Posse your journey. How did we get to last night when you have a blowout win, sir?
It's a long journey, but I felt like I needed to run again. Steve, thank you for having me on. Thank you for my team. Yeah, we had a 76% win last night, but it started way back in 21. Senator Leahy retired. I said, you know what? I can do better than the guy that's looking at taking his position, Peter Welch. I was right. I didn't beat Peter Welch, and I ran against Bernie Sanders. I can tell you I beat Bernie Sanders in 3 debates, but the Vermonters went with him again. And this most recent election now for the at-large seat, going against Congresswoman Becca Balint. She's done nothing for Vermont. She's focused on the wrong issues. I could not stand by and watch Vermont go down the tubes. We've become unaffordable, a place to leave, largely because of her lack of performance in D.C. and 8 years in the state Senate, pushing all the taxes and policies and blocking reform for the state. So I had to jump in. West Point grad, decorated veteran, 40 years of government business experience, MBA. The last thing Vermont needs is another career politician, progressive left socialist. And really, I see what's going on across the country. We've got socialism, backing up a little bit. Progressive left hijacked the Democrat Party, and now the progressive left showing its true colors. They are socialists. Vermont has been driven right into the ground by socialists for way too long. Vermonters are upset. I'm going to win. I'm going to be the only House member of the GOP in the House in all of New England. But I couldn't stand by and watch Becca Balint do nothing for another 2 years. So I jumped in and had a huge win last night. Very excited about this race.
Here's what I think confuses people. So walk us through this. So many great folks and patriots up in Vermont, working class. You've got Bernie, you've got her in the House. You've got some pretty far left socialist crazies already. What is the program you're going to pitch to working class people in Vermont to say, hey, look, this is how I think we get the country back on track? Just give us 2 or 3 examples of what you're going to push. Well,
so it's been 25 years since we've had moderate, balanced representation in Washington, D.C. That has not produced results for Vermont. None of our congressional delegation works with our soon-to-be record 6-term Republican governor. So I bring a business experiment. One of the things going on here in Vermont is become very business unfriendly. Businesses and therefore people are leaving. I want to turn that around with our Republican governor, create a business friendly environment. So I know that I can attract businesses, technology, innovation businesses to come here to Vermont, bring the people, and have a thriving economy again. We don't have that right now. All we're getting from our congressional delegation is bashing and against the current administration. It's not delivering results.
Gerald, where do people go? We're going to follow this race closely. Of course, everybody's saying right now, the Cook, everybody, you're a long shot. So where do we go to get more information? Where can the Warren Posse that participate as volunteers maybe hit you with a $20 donation, whatever? Where do folks go today? And what's your social media?
Sure. DeployMalloy.com is my website. Please take a look. You can go up to donate. Any kind of support will help. At Gerald Malloy, Vermont is my Facebook, one of the most popular sites in the whole state. Steve, I mentioned a West Point grad, decorated veteran. Vermonters are ready for change here, and this is a race I'm going to win. My candidate has done nothing. She's actually offended a lot of Vermonters. She's focused on 2 main issues. That's not the problem here in Vermont. It's affordability that she caused, and Vermonters have had it. So any kind of support will go very far here for a win and a rejection of socialism. That we really need to do that across our country right now.
Gerald, the Academy is very proud. Thank you for coming on. We're going to follow this closely. Look forward to having you back in the run-up to everything. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, sir.
Tenacity, folks. Malloy is anti-fragile. That's what this movement is, anti-fragile. Got beat up a little bit, got back up, won big last night. First guy announced by national media as a win. So I've been saying that, we've been on this, we're the first guys to identify Mandani as a threat back in the spring, actually the winter and spring of 2025 when I think he was polling at 5%. Because we could see what they were doing, the Working Family Party and DSA in